Ice, freezing rain, and snow moving through the region right now. More about that coming up in just a moment.
Right now this morning, lawmakers call for the full release of the Epstein files. We'll have more on the pressure from all sides. And an arrest has been made after shots fired downtown early yesterday. We'll have details on the suspect coming up. And record-breaking holiday travel starts today. What you need to know before hitting the road or the skies. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Brooklyn Hine. Alexandra is off today. It is Monday, December 22nd, and the time is 6 a.m. We'll hand it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett for a look at your morning weather.
Thanks, Brooklyn. As we go into your forecast here, we're going to hold on the possibility of getting into a little bit of light glaze out there, as well as some snowfall, possibly up to about an inch. We're going to see that as we get into the morning hours. That means your sidewalks are going to become slippery. Your roadways may become slippery, especially into the intersections as well, where the possibility of folks that are crossing the street can get into some ice glaze that is already there right now, and of course will be much wetter getting into your morning. We'll also see as for the morning commute will be very slippery for a lot of folks, so please take it easy and maybe even leave a little earlier if you can, if you are going to work. You're going to see this moisture still holding on to the possibility of lifting up out of the region and eventually going up towards areas right by Ladysmith and outside by Marshfield and of course Wausau. When I come back, I'll have a better overview of how this all shapes up for your day, so please stick around.
This morning, the Trump administration is advancing one fight and pushing back against another. Lawmakers are demanding the DOJ explain why it didn't release all Epstein-related files by last Friday's deadline. Meanwhile, the administration is ratcheting up the pressure on Venezuela after seizing a second oil tanker over the weekend. Their sights now set on a third. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Off the coast of Venezuela, the U.S. Coast Guard is now in active pursuit of a third oil tanker. This after seizing what the White House calls a second sanctioned vessel early Saturday.
This is another ship that was basically operating in the black market.
Venezuela called the operation a serious act of piracy. The White House accuses both vessels of evading sanctions as it ramps up its pressure campaign on dictator Nicolas Maduro. It follows the seizure nearly 2 weeks ago of another oil tanker, the Skipper. Last week, the president announced a full blockade of sanctioned vessels traveling in and out of Venezuela.
Not going to let anybody going through that shouldn't be going through.
Meanwhile, lawmakers are raising questions about the Justice Department's release of files linked to well-connected convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Starting Friday, the DOJ uploaded thousands of heavily redacted records to its website, including photos and contact lists. But over the weekend, more than a dozen files were removed without explanation. A CBS News review found that includes an image that appears to show a framed picture of President Trump. The image was later reposted.
It has nothing to do with President Trump. If there are survivors in any of the photos, we will redact them.
The two sponsors of the law slammed at the DOJ Sunday for not releasing all files as the law requires by last Friday.
This was a slap in the face of survivors.
They're flouting the spirit and the letter of the law.
They're now working to rally support in the House for inherent contempt charges against Attorney General Pam Bondi. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The law compelling the Epstein files release does allow some redactions, like in the case of protecting the identity of survivors. And the Justice Department says it is working methodically on removing some redactions. Now, a memorial was held last night for the victims of the shooting on Bondi Beach last weekend. The shooting killed 15 and injured dozens more. Over the weekend, Australia honored and recognized its Jewish community. There was a main memorial event near Bondi Beach with a moment of silence being held at 6:47 p.m., the time the attack began. A man is in La Crosse custody after reports of gunshots downtown. 22-year-old suspect Dominic Jansen is now in La Crosse County Jail. The incident happened early yesterday on the 300 block of 3rd Street South. Police arrested Jansen in a nearby residence, and they say no one is hurt, but one person reported their car window was hit as they left the area. It's labeled an isolated incident, but the investigation remains active. Rotary Lights is known for spreading holiday cheer, but this year one part of the tradition is facing challenges. Rotary Lights collects donations for local food banks every year as visitors make their way through the display. But organizers say this season has been tougher than usual, with fewer donations coming in during key weekends due to poor weather.
Rotary Lights is really re-emphasizing that need, and hopefully we're going to get a great turnout tonight. But it has been a rough year for a lot of the food banks.
Despite the challenges, organizers say they've seen before how quickly the community can rally together for a good cause.
This just creates so much awareness, so people need to be aware of what's going on. And I think all the contributions we get show that people in this area, we usually can fill the gap, with a good Rotary Lights season.
Rotary Lights runs until December 31st, and organizers say food donations are always welcomed. Friends and families hit the ice rink with a special guest this weekend. Santa stopped by the Onalaska Omni Center to join in on the holiday skating event. Organizers say it's important for local businesses to get their name out there, but also to give back to the community.
So we do a couple events throughout the year, and we always do a food donation with it. Just try to being around the holidays and just trying to provide more for people and give back.
This year, the donations are going to the Onalaska Schools Food Pantry. The Rivoli Theater hosted another Crafternoon this weekend. This Crafternoon featured the Muppet Christmas Carol, while attendees could work on crafts. Crafters worked on knitting, crocheting, and macrame, but due to the theater's recent renovations, no painting was allowed during the Crafternoon.
I just think it's such a wonderful place, again, for people to kind of gather, kind of be in community, but sort of also be able to just sort of have their own little comfort crafts, and it's just a really nice little relaxing outing to do during the holidays.
This craft session partnered with Macrame Mama Wisconsin, who provided additional craft kits for purchase for anyone who didn't bring their own. The Oktoberfest 2026 button design contest is now open. The contest runs from now until January 25th. You can submit your designs as a 6-inch circle. It has to include the text of this year's theme, from Bavaria to the Bluffs. New for this year, the contest winner gets $500 cash, 2 wristbands to next fall's celebration, a signature button designating them the winner, and the chance to be part of the button unveiling. We'll have more contest requirements on news8000.com. If your morning starts with coffee, you're not alone. One local Minnesota roaster is making sure everyone's first cup is roasted to perfection. News 8 photographer John Hayes is brewing up this story with this week's eyepiece.
Favorite part of the day is just kind of firing up the roaster. It's kind of a quiet morning, and it takes about a half an hour to warm the roaster up, get that metal all stabilized and hot. And so just sitting here enjoying. You can see the traffic going through town here. One of the nice things is we're on the corner. We got lots of windows here. It's kind of fun just to kind of see the town kind of wake up in the morning and get moving. And the roasting thing just kind of came out of a love of coffee. My wife had bought me a roaster for Christmas one year, and I played around with it and enjoyed that at home. And then decided, well, this is something to pursue commercially. We use a drum roaster, and so a drum roaster uses heat and airflow and a rotating drum. Uses convection and conduction to roast the beans. So kind of go back to your science classes, you're using 2 different kinds of heating to get that bean heated up. Yeah, and they'll get bigger, they'll expand. Yeah, they almost double. You slowly heat that bean up for about 7 minutes, and you'll see a color change, and it'll go from green, which is the what it's like when we buy it. This is that Ethiopian. To yellow, and then right at the point it's going to turn brown. We have brown coffee. That's right at first crack. Most roasters, how long after first crack that you take it out of the machine is the development, time, and that's going to determine how dark your coffee is. Each machine has a slightly different flavor. My palate really is part of that process too, is what do I like? What coffees do I choose? And every kind of head roasters sort of defines the brand at their company, because they have different taste buds. Humans are different from each other, which is really kind of the cool part about coffee. It'd be kind of boring if we all drank the same coffee every single day.
Bob hopes to keep his coffee business roasting for years to come. Still ahead on your morning news, phone prices are expected to go up in the coming year. And check your freezers for a recall that could cause you cancer. And record-breaking holiday travel is already underway. What you need to know, that and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Competitive log rollers and beginners gathered at the La Crosse YMCA this weekend for the 6th annual Jingle Bell Roll. The event wrapped up the Coulee Region log rolling year with competition, beginner lessons, and a silent auction to support local youth athletes. More than 50 athletes showed off their skills, and first-timers gained help from experienced coaches. And as you begin to wake up this morning, we leave you with a quick wake-up call from Orlando, Florida. This is a view of downtown. Look at that pretty sunrise. And Orlando is one of the top travel destinations for the holidays. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after the break.
River City Grill in Winona is your place for great food and drinks every night of the week. Get Grandma's home-style meatloaf with mashed potatoes, gravy, and corn for $18.99, as well as mixers for $4.50. See you soon at River City Grill in Winona.
Save big money on everything at Menards. Power up your gifts this Christmas with Energizer. Menards has the largest in-stock selection of Energizer batteries. They provide long-lasting power for flashlights, gifts, remotes, and more. Stuff your stockings with a 4-pack of Max batteries for $3.99. Clean up your space with help from Rubbermaid. This industrial-strength 32-gallon trash can is built to withstand intense sunlight and freezing temperatures and comes with a lid. Now $14.99 after rebate.
Stella Jones Corporation in Bangor has immediate openings and wants you to apply. They say this job takes grit, attention to detail, and ability to work as a team. Stella Jones Corporation is where safety matters and wages sustain a comfortable living. If you have what it takes and can stand behind our railroads, then we want you to apply today.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain. It just hurts all the time. It feels like your foot is squeezing on itself. When I drove past the Good Feet store, I thought, I'm gonna stop in. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet that were personally fitted just for me. Then it was like, okay, this is something special. These make a difference.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Stop into Pischke Motors to get your new Ram now. Get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on all new 2026 Ram trucks. This offer will end December 31st, so stop in now. And during the Wrap Up the Year sales event, get 0% financing for 60 months on all new 2026 Bighorn and Laramie Ram 1500s. Or save over $10,000 off MSRP on select inventory. Hurry in because this offer ends December 31st. Go to Pischke.com, Pischke Motors West Salem, or Pischke Motors La Crosse.
The gift of relaxation and pampering is the perfect gift to give this holiday season. It is the Sue Colby's experience, the gift your special someone is really hoping for, and the gift she really deserves. Order your gift cards online today at SueColby's.com or pick them up at Sue Colby's Salon and Day Spa, because she deserves the very best.
River City Grill in Winona is your place for great food and drinks every night of the week. Get Grandma's home-style meatloaf with mashed potatoes, gravy, and corn for $18.99, as well as mixers for $4.50. See you soon at River City Grill in Winona.
Smart devices may start costing more next year. A new report found that the smartphone market could see a 0.9% decline in growth next year, while at the same time an increase in price for some lower-cost smartphones. Memory prices are rising for many consumer products, in part because major manufacturers are ramping up productions for AI data centers to keep up with the industry's boom.
The lower cost or lower tier of the product, the more that will get passed through to the customer, because the margins are a lot thinner.
Other research found that memory prices were expected to surge by 30% by the end of this year and another 20% in early 2026. That's also when experts say some smartphones could begin to cost more. There's a recall of more than 80,000 bags of frozen raw shrimp. The Food and Drug Administration said the shrimp may be contaminated with the radioactive isotope cesium-137. Cesium exposure carries an elevated risk of cancer. According to the FDA, the product is sold under the brands Market 32 and Waterfront Bistro. The FDA says anyone who bought the shrimp should throw it out or return it to the store for a refund. It may be the most wonderful time of the year, but it can also be stressful on various levels. The holiday travel season is underway, so expect to see lots of traffic, lines in between big meals, and football on TV. John Lorenz reports.
The year 2025 is ending on a historic note. AAA estimates a record-setting 122.4 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home.
You've got this 2-week period when people are coming and going during different times.
AAA says nearly 110 million will drive, just over 8 million will fly, and close to 5 million will take other forms of travel like buses or trains. For those getting behind the wheel this holiday season, a basic rule of thumb: the sooner you leave, the better.
Early mornings are the best. Those are the times that you're going to have the lighter traffic. Also, you don't have the buildup and more opportunities for there to be crashes or construction later in the day.
If you're heading to the airport, be proactive before pulling up to the front doors.
Do everything you can before you get to the airport. Reserve that parking. Check into that flight. Prepay for checked baggage. It's really going to save you time and heartache when you get there.
And as for those procrastinators who may still be looking for a last-minute bargain on a plane ticket,
There's always weird things going on with airfare, so you can probably find a cheap deal to fly. But is there value in that flight? Is the layover 3 times longer than it normally would be? Is it going to take you 3 times longer to get to your destination?
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The top 3 domestic destinations this holiday season are Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, according to AAA booking data. Well, that's a look at your consumer news. Now let's send it over to News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett.
As we get into your local forecast here, once again, we're going to be seeing the possibility of a mix of rain and snow. We'll also see some freezing rain, some drizzle as well, freezing drizzle, as well as the portions of glaze and ice. That all comes in. This may start to get into the way. We're looking at a winter weather advisory right there. La Crosse is on the cusp of that. You go farther south down to Vernon County as well as Crawford County. They are not in that. The possibility of that going all the way up into Rusk County, not in that as well right now, as you can see. As we take a look here, what's happening, we've got this mix of rain and snow. You see that pink right there, that big batch of pink, that is ice moving into the air. You can see it kind of right. You can see ice right there on the banner there. You're going to see also possibly as we get into it here, that is continuing to move pretty fast out of the region. It should go to about 8 o'clock this morning. We'll get a little bit closer. You can see Eau Claire was in that for a tad bit, but then as we go into how this where it is now, that big batch of ice, you can see it was up by areas right by Hay River, getting into Trainer as well. It's north of Menominee, and now it's moved up more to the north. We take a look here, get back to it. Another batch is trying to get back along areas into Iowa as well as Minnesota, and is working its way toward us. So we'll see that getting towards the river here. So we'll keep an eye on that. But until then, we're also seeing this kind of track up to the north by the 8 o'clock hour. Now, most of this is all pretty much done by the 8 o'clock hour unless they extend the winter weather advisory. But this is supposed to end at least 8 o'clock this morning. Then eventually you see as we go to the 11 o'clock hour, snow is out of the region. We're seeing these winds still out of the south, so that means warmer temperatures in your forecast today. We'll get into how we play out for the 4 o'clock hour. Clouds start to open up a tad bit. We're supposed to be cloudy, but we make it down to mostly cloudy to finish out the day. And then eventually you're going to be seeing the possibility of clearing skies going into the evening and overnight. We're looking at partly cloudy skies working in the area going into the overnight hours by the midnight hour. Temperatures still in the 20s and the 30s, believe it or not. Then we get into how this all shapes up going into tomorrow morning. Still under partly cloudy skies, if any clouds whatsoever. We're still holding on to northwesterly winds now. Then we get into temperatures in the 30s as we go into it here. We'll see more clouds come back in from the southwest, and that'll carry us all the way into partly cloudy skies for your Tuesday. As that happens, we get into the afternoon. You're looking at still widespread 30s for the most part. You're getting up to 27 still, all the way up to Ladysmith, barely for Eau Claire at 30. I should say Eau Claire at 30 degrees. Eventually, we take a look here. What else is happening? We're taking a look here at that rainfall and snowfall. People go back to California. They're starting to pick up more rainfall. What's happening there is what's called the Pineapple Express, which is on the way. It comes all the way out from Honolulu. There'll be an area of low pressure just north of that, and that will continue to push more rainfall rainfall back into the California area. That means they're going to be seeing up to about a foot of rainfall. And that also means more of that's going to start working its way toward us as we get closer. For now, that's got a few days away for that to really start moving into our area until next week possibly. But for now, we're going to be looking at 20s and some 30s in the forecast today. As we get into it, highs for Tuesday, that's in the morning. Highs for Tuesday, we're looking at widespread 30s with some 40s down to the forecast. Wednesday's lows will be in the 20s, and of course that is more widespread. Once we get in the afternoon for your Wednesday, this will be Christmas Eve. As we get into the daytime, you're holding on to the possibility of 30s and some 40s back again. We get into Thursday, where you're looking at possibly for Christmas morning, you're looking at temperatures mostly in the 30s widespread. As we get into the afternoon, you're seeing at least temperatures will be in the 40s, pretty much widespread. We'll carry it over how this all shapes up over the next few days, where we take it into the possibility of, again, temperatures warming gradually as we go into still up into the 40s. Once we get into Friday, going into Saturday, temperatures begin to drop for Sunday, and then Monday, temperatures bump back up to above seasonal average. Be safe. Have a great day.
Thank you, Art. Now, the Trump administration has made an announcement about drug prices and possibly lowering them. We have their proposed plan coming up. And 1,900 people have already died from a new flu strain this year. We have tips to keep you healthy this holiday season.
Coming up in sports, a look back at the Packers' fourth quarter collapse to the Bears, plus the Vikings going for their third straight win up against the Giants. All of the highlights coming up in the Morning Blitz.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. With durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator for 20 years, the Kubota construction lineup is ready to work. Visit your local dealer today.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford Crew Final Days.
Initiate Final Days protocol.
And just announced Final Days bonus cash. That's 1,000 bonus cash back, and that's on top of other offers.
Hurry! Built Ford tough trucks are moving fast. Ford SUV is almost gone. Built Wild Bronco family, adventure is selling quick.
Now lease a new Ford Bronco Sport for $259 per month for 36 months. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Don't wait too long to finish your shopping. Wrap it all up at Fleet Farm now. This week only, holiday snack trays are 25% off. For your furry friends, buy one, get one 50% off all Kong treats and toys. Pop into Toyland for 40% off select toys for the kids. Plus, don't miss Milwaukee Deal Days, happening right now at Fleet Farm, the home of last-minute gifting for everyone on your list. And for even more ideas, check out our gift guides at fleetfarm.com.
Hy-Vee is your holiday headquarters. Save big Saturday through Wednesday. Cook's ham portions, just $1.77 a pound. Hy-Vee butter, just $2.88. Hy-Vee canned corn or green beans, 2 for $1. 5 pounds of potatoes, $1.48. Cream cheese, just $1.28. Save on Nabisco snack crackers, Lay's and Kettle Cooked chips, Pepsi 6-packs, and more. Save in-store and online, Saturday through Wednesday, only at Hy-Vee.
With McValue at McDonald's, you'll get more than you expect. With deals in the app, all day, every day.
Get free medium fries the day after the Packers win, only in the app.
All right, what do you think?
I think we can do a little better.
I think we can do even better.
I agree.
That's more like it.
Happy holidays. News 8 Now Sports.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. Despite Jordan Love getting knocked out of the game with a concussion on Saturday, the Packers had a 10-point lead with 2 minutes to play. A fumbled an onside kick opened the doors for the Bears as they sent the game into overtime, eventually getting the win. Let's do a quick recap. I mentioned Jordan Love left the game, so Malik Willis got the call. Check out this throw. On 3rd and 2, Willis takes a deep shot to Romeo Doubs, who hauls it in for a huge touchdown. Packers would take a 10-point lead. Then in the 4th, now 16-6 with 2 minutes to go, and the Bears kick a field goal, but they use their 2-minute warning, which means Chicago is going to have to onside kick. And these things never work, right? Well, on Saturday night, it did. Dobbs had it in his hands but couldn't keep control. Chicago would recover. Not only that, but then the Bears would go down the field, and on 4th down, Caleb Williams rolls out, and he's got Jaheed Walker wide open for the score. The Bears send this game to overtime. Green Bay would turn it over on downs, so a Chicago touchdown would end it. Williams to the end zone, and DJ Moore brings it in to end it. Credit to the Bears. They played really well and fought to the very end, but this game feels like Green Bay gave it away.
There were so many plays in this game that if they go different, or if we make a play, or if we don't fumble, or if we aren't 0 for 5 or whatever in the red zone. So it's never just one play. It's never just one phase. And that's why I have so much confidence with our guys, that these guys will rally around each other. They'll support one another. They'll lift the guys that need to be lifted up, and they'll battle.
The Packers had the ball inside the 10 and walked away with 0 points 2 different times throughout this one, and we will have to wait to see on Jordan Love, as the QB will have to pass concussion protocol before returning to the field. But the good news is the Detroit Lions lost yesterday, and that means the Packers control their own destiny. One win over the next 2 weeks and Green Bay is into the playoffs, or a Lions loss would also put the Packers into the postseason. Packers host the Ravens this Saturday. The Minnesota Vikings in action yesterday as well, looking for their 3rd straight win, taking on the New York Giants. Second quarter, Minnesota up 6-3, facing 3rd and 6 on the 12-yard line. J.J. McCarthy rolling out, nobody open. He's going to take off into the end zone. Touchdown Vikings, his 7th touchdown over the last 3 games. Minnesota up 10, now just 25 seconds in the half. Vikings ball again. McCarthy gets crunched. The ball is out. New York picks it up, takes it in for the score. Vikings still up 3, but McCarthy would leave the game with a hand injury after the hit. So in comes Max Brosmer. Tie game, 4th quarter, facing a 3rd and 17, but how about this throw? To the sideline, and that's Justin Jefferson making the toe-tapping grab. That'll extend the drive, and then later, Will Reichert in for the field goal and drills it. That gives the Vikings the lead as they would hold on for the win, 16-13. The final. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Come home for the holidays at Home Furniture. Everything is on sale this holiday season. Right now, get free shipping when you spend $4.99 and free white glove delivery when you spend $14.99. Plus an extra 15% off floor models and clearance. Home for the holidays, now at Home Furniture.
Hey, Dominic here to show you how to make an easy party mix using our original and garlic salt seasoning. Combine melted butter, Worcestershire sauce, garlic salt seasoning, and original seasoning. Mix with corn, rice, and wheat checks, mixed nuts, pretzels, and bagel chips. Cook at 250 for 1 hour, stirring every 15 minutes. You can even add caution seasoning if you want some heat. Get original and garlic salt seasoning and 38 other blends at our outlet store on Ward Avenue, La Crosse. So where's the party?
The camper. It has been a reliable companion for your family's good times. But after years of use, it is showing some wear and tear. A broken window from an errant baseball, a couch that your dog allegedly chewed on, and an AC unit that doesn't work like it should. It's time to call Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. We have been improving your family's camper since 1970. Call us today and we will make your camper feel brand new. Jim's Truck and Trailer Coachworks. Repair, refinish, remarkable.
I do like knowing the person that's sitting across from my desk. I've formed a lot of relationships over the years based on trust. When I see the look on a member's face, when I say, yes, this loan is good, you're good to go, it makes me happy. To me, being the team you can trust is honesty. When you do a loan with me at Firefighters Credit Union, like everything we do, it's not about the car, it's about you.
'Cause everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
It's time to wrap up your holiday shopping for less at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, with great last-minute gifts at even better prices for all the originals on your list. Like assorted Duke Cannon bar soap, $4.99 each. Select candle and wax melt warmers, your choice, $14.99. Men's work and sport shirt jackets, $34.99 while supplies last. Plus, Blaine's gift cards make the perfect stocking stuffers. Find the value you need to bring a little more joy to your world. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
I
I'm a martial artist, a skydiver, a pilot, and all of them require your feet to work. Get up in the morning, and it felt like I was standing on marbles on my heel. When I went into the Good Feet store, the fitting was personalized. It was all about me. You put in the arch supports, and your day becomes better, and the sun shines, the unicorns run by, and, it's a good life. I'm Randy, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Come home for the holidays at Home Sleep Express. Right now, get free shipping when you spend $4.99 and free white glove delivery when you spend $12.99 on any mattress purchase. Home for the holidays, now at Home Sleep Express.
First Warn Weather on News 8 Now.
Snowfall, glaze, and ice in the forecast right now this morning. More about that coming up in just a moment.
Right now this morning, lawmakers call for the full release of the Epstein files. We'll have more on the pressure from all sides. And an arrest has been made after shots fired downtown early yesterday. We'll have details on the suspect coming up. President Donald Trump has unveiled his new pricing deals for drugs with 9 pharmaceutical businesses. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Brooklyn Hine. Alexandra is off today. It is Monday, December 22nd, and the time is 6:30 a.m. We'll hand it over to meteorologist Art Jarrett for a look at your morning weather. Hi, Art.
Hey, Brooklyn. Good to see you, my friend. Holding on to the possibility of, again, some snowfall, some freezing rain, some freezing drizzle, and, of course, ice and glaze out there. That will continue on as we go through the morning hours. Holding on to the possibility, if you can see that big batch of pink right there going over Eau Claire and then heading up to the north, that is ice, and that continues to work its way out of the region right now, gradually going in towards just north of Menominee, towards Minnesota. We have another batch that's trying to get down to the south there. You can see by Mason City heading towards the river. It's kind of mixing out as those winds are still picking up their light winds, but they are kind of mixing that out a little bit with warmer air in the forecast for you right now. We're also looking at the winter weather advisory here. That is in purple. That continues to go, showing you a glaze of ice for most areas, giving way to a light snowfall up to at least about an inch possible, and then freezing rain, of course, and slippery roadway conditions, as well as the possibility of sidewalks to be quite icy and slippery as well. You're taking a look, dry conditions for La Crosse right now at 32 degrees. You get into 31 degrees for Eau Claire. They look like they have a little bit of light snow out there in the forecast, some mist and some drizzle out there currently as well. We'll also see as we get down to areas right by La Crosse, you're going to see 30s finish out the morning hours going into the afternoon with partly cloudy skies, getting up to 37 degrees. Eau Claire, on the other hand, will hold on to that mix of rain and snow going through the 9 o'clock hour for the mid-morning hours and taper off by 10 o'clock and get into the afternoon where you're looking at least 36 degrees to start. Let's look at your forecast. More about that coming up for you in just a moment.
This morning, the Trump administration is advancing one fight and pushing back against another. Lawmakers are demanding the DOJ explain why it didn't release all Epstein-related files by last Friday's deadline. Meanwhile, the administration is ratcheting up the pressure on Venezuela after seizing a second oil tanker over the weekend. Their sights now set on a third. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Off the coast of Venezuela, the U.S. Coast Guard is now in active pursuit of a third oil tanker. This after seizing what the White House calls a second sanctioned vessel early Saturday.
This is another ship that was basically operating in the black market.
Venezuela called the operation a serious act of piracy. The White House accuses both vessels of evading sanctions as it ramps up its pressure campaign on dictator Nicolas Maduro. It follows the seizure nearly 2 weeks ago of another oil tanker, the Skipper. Last week, the president announced a full blockade of sanctioned vessels traveling in and out of Venezuela.
Not going to let anybody going through that shouldn't be going through.
Meanwhile, lawmakers are raising questions about the Justice Department's release of files linked to well-connected convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Starting Friday, the DOJ uploaded thousands of heavily redacted records to its website, including photos and contact lists. But over the weekend, more than a dozen files were removed without explanation. A CBS News review found that includes an image that appears to show a framed picture of President Trump. The image was later reposted.
It has nothing to do with President Trump. If there are survivors in any of the photos, we will redact them.
The two sponsors of the law slammed at the DOJ Sunday for not releasing all files as the law requires by last Friday.
This was a slap in the face of survivors.
They're flouting the spirit and the letter of the law.
They're now working to rally support in the House for inherent contempt charges against Attorney General Pam Bondi. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The law compelling the Epstein files release does allow some redactions, like in the case of protecting the identity of survivors, and the Justice Department says it is working methodically on removing some redactions. Now, a memorial was held last night for the victims of the shooting on Bondi Beach last weekend. The shooting killed 15 and injured dozens more. Over the weekend, Australia honored and recognized its Jewish community. There was a main memorial event near Bondi Beach with a moment of silence being held at 6:47 p.m., the time the attack began. A man is in La Crosse custody after reports of gunshots downtown. 22-year-old suspect Dominic Jansen is now in La Crosse County Jail. The incident happened early yesterday on the 300 block of 3rd Street South. Police arrested Jansen in a nearby residence. They say no one is hurt, but one person reported their car window was hit as they left the area. It's labeled an isolated incident, but the investigation remains active. Rotary Lights is known for spreading holiday cheer, but this year one part of the tradition is facing challenges. Rotary Lights collects donations for local food banks every year as visitors make their way through the display. But organizers say this season has been tougher than usual, with fewer donations coming in during key weekends due to poor weather.
Rotary Lights is really re-emphasizing that need, and hopefully we're going to get a great turnout tonight. But it has been a rough year for a lot of the food banks.
Despite the challenges, organizers say they've seen before how quickly the community can rally together for a good cause.
This just creates so much awareness, so people need to be aware of what's going on. And I think all the contributions we get show that people in this area, we usually can fill the gap, with a good Rotary Lights season.
Rotary Lights runs until December 31st, and organizers say food donations are always welcomed. The Oktoberfest 2026 button design contest is now open. The contest runs from now until January 25th. You can submit your designs as a 6-inch circle. It has to include the text from this year's theme, From Bavaria to the Bluffs. New for this year, the contest winner gets $500 cash, 2 wristbands to next fall's celebration, a signature button designating them the winner, and the chance to be a part of the button unveiling. We'll have more contest requirements on news8000.com. If your morning starts with coffee, you're not alone. One local Minnesota roaster is making sure everyone's first cup is roasted to perfection. News 8 photographer John Hayes is brewing up this story with this week's eyepiece.
Favorite part of the day is just kind of firing up the roaster. It's kind of a quiet morning. It takes about a half an hour to warm the roaster up, get that metal all stabilized and hot. And so just sitting here enjoying. You can see the traffic going through town here. One of the nice things is we're on the corner. We've got lots of windows here. It's kind of fun just to kind of see the town kind of wake up in the morning and get moving. And the roasting thing just kind of came out of a love of coffee. My wife had bought me a roaster for Christmas one year, and I played around with it and enjoyed that at home. And then decided, well, this is something to pursue commercially. We use a drum roaster, and so a drum roaster uses heat and airflow and a rotating drum. Uses convection and conduction to roast the beans. So kind of go back to your science classes, you're using 2 different kinds of heating to get that bean heated up. Yeah, and they'll get bigger, they'll expand. Yeah, they almost double. You slowly heat that bean up for about 7 minutes, and you'll see a color change, and it'll go from green, which is the what it's like when we buy it. This is that Ethiopian. To yellow, and then right at the point it's going to turn brown. We have brown coffee. That's right at first crack. Most roasters, how long after first crack that you take it out of the machine is the development, time, and that's going to determine how dark your coffee is. Each machine has a slightly different flavor. My palate really is part of that process too, is what do I like? What coffees do I choose? And every kind of head roasters sort of defines the brand at their company, because they have different taste buds. Humans are different from each other, which is really kind of the cool part about coffee. It'd be kind of boring if we all drank the same coffee every single day.
Well, that's making me want a cup of coffee. Sure looks good. Bob hopes to keep his coffee business roasting for years to come. The Trump administration says it's taking a step toward lowering drug costs in the U.S. On Friday, President Donald Trump unveiled his new pricing deals with new pharmaceutical businesses, 9 of those. The agreements call for the companies to sell their products to Medicaid at special prices and to launch new medication in the U.S. at those costs. The businesses will also sell some primary care and specialty medications on the Trump Rx online platform, which is scheduled to open in January. Now, it turns out being on the spectrum may not just apply to people. One scientist says dogs can experience a form of autism. Even though veterinarians won't formally diagnose it, Dr. Jacqueline Boyd, an animal scientist, says there's good evidence of biological signatures of neurodiversity in different species, particularly in dogs. Dogs can have structural and chemical differences in their brains similar to people diagnosed with autism.
They still have the same emotional reaction to the world, similar emotional states. It's recognizing that commonality.
While there's no formal diagnosis for autism or ADHD in dogs, vets often call it canine dysfunctional behavior, which is sometimes treated with medication or training. If you suspect your dog is neurodiverse, Dr. Boyd recommends getting a checkup at the vet and working with a trainer. Doctors are warning about surging cases of influenza. At least 1,900 people have died from the flu nationwide this season, including 3 children. The CDC says that 2 of those children's deaths were reported in just the last week. Jen Sullivan reports on the growing warning from doctors as millions of people get ready to gather for the holidays.
At the D.C. Public Health Lab, doctors are busy testing diseases that could become a public health concern.
The really only time that people see us is when there's a public health emergency.
Dr. Jocelyn Hauser is the director. She says doctors' offices and hospitals around the country send them swabs collected from patients.
We receive those samples and log them into our information system.
Those results are then sent to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. This year, the CDC is particularly concerned about growing cases of influenza. The latest data released Friday shows there have been at least 4.6 million flu cases so far this season, 49,000 hospitalizations, and 1,900 deaths in the U.S. alone. The dominant strain causing the surge in illnesses is subclade K, a mutation of influenza A.
We think that this clade K virus is evading population immunity, meaning more people are susceptible to infection.
While doctors in the CDC say the best protection is to get the flu vaccine, Johns Hopkins University professor Andrew Pekosh says this year the shot may not be enough.
It has mutations that may allow it to evade some, but not all, of the influenza vaccine-induced protection.
As millions of people prepare to travel and gather this week for the holidays, there's growing concern illnesses may spike, and cases are surging around the globe. Children, adults 65 and older, and those with underlying medical conditions are particularly vulnerable to the flu. Medical experts are urging everyone 6 months and older to get the flu vaccine. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Coming up in your Buzz Report, 2 singers have spotlights on them today. Both Miley Cyrus and Christina Aguilera are being honored in different ways. Find out about their exciting performances after the break.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
Cold weather and winter winds remind us that old windows and doors are not our friends. New windows and doors, expertly installed by certified installers, bring comfort, convenience, energy savings, and a great new look. Begin now in choosing just the right windows for your home. Order now and avoid the inevitable price increase in the new year. No worries about missing a promotion. The Bohr Store offers you the best possible price every day and any day. Contact us online or visit our showroom for a prompt free estimate on windows and doors or other home improvements.
Driving in a Honda Wonderland. Time's running out to find clearance deals during Happy Honda Days. So act fast for our biggest savings of the season and get a great offer on a 2025 Accord, Pilot, or Ridgeline. All part of Kelley Blue Book's 2025 Best Value brand. Driving in a Honda Wonderland. Hurry into your local Honda dealer and experience the wonder of happy Honda days today while the clearance deals last.
Thousands of our heroes face the difficult choice between keeping their heat and power on or facing homelessness. 21,000 Wisconsin veterans are living below the poverty line, many impacted by physical or mental health challenges. Wisconsin loses 3 veterans to suicide every week. Together, our mission is to provide all struggling Wisconsin veterans with a critical survival safety net that keeps them safely in their homes. You can make a real difference by providing a donation to the Wisconsin Heat and Housing for Heroes initiative, with 95 cents of every dollar donated going directly to those right here in your community. Help by visiting www.heatforheroes.org or by calling 1-800-891-9276. That's 800-891-9276.
I lost my son to an accidental drug overdose. This is why we created the George Ford Recovery Foundation, to champion drug use awareness, funding, and solutions so we don't lose any more kids. You know, there's an effective, simple solution. Narcan kits help save lives in seconds. They're required in schools in many states, but sadly, not in Wisconsin. To save a child's life, please sign a petition at NarcanForSchools.com.
Ready for a better career with excellent pay, benefits, and work-life balance? Chart Industries is hiring fabricators. Join the team that's shaping the future and providing awesome pay and excellent benefits. Apply today at jobs.chartindustries.com.
All right, well, good morning to you. Welcome back. Freezing rain. We also have glaze and ice, of course, and snowfall, possibly getting up to an inch for some locations, mostly along I-94. We're also going to find ourselves getting into this weather advisory, winter weather advisory here. You got, like I mentioned before, a glaze of ice. You're also seeing that for most areas, giving way to at least freezing rainfall and maybe some freezing drizzle and some mist out there, some freezing mist, holding on the possibility of slippery conditions in the forecast. That leads to about 8 o'clock this morning before it continues to lift up like it's doing right now. You see that pink, as I mentioned before, was over Eau Claire, and of course now it is kind of tracked northward or kind of mixed out, but we saw at least a possibility of that getting into some, at least up to bringing up that rainfall, getting us up to at least about 6/100ths of an inch, possible for areas by Eau Claire as well as Black River Falls. Picked up 0.06 in the forecast there, 6/100ths of an inch there. That continues on. It was over Eau Claire, as I mentioned before. Now it has moved eastward, northward, I should say, getting into Hay River. It was right over there as you get into Trainer as well, as getting up to the north areas by Sand Creek, and then eventually you're seeing this one was also bringing another mix of ice on the way, but it mixed out, turning into snowfall, and we've got some winds coming out of the south, which are light, but they are warmer, and they kind of mixed that out for now. Holding on to at least Prairie du Chien, 30 degrees right now, 33 in Eau Claire as we get through the 6 o'clock hour, and eventually by the time we get in the 8 o'clock hour, snowfall continues to lift up to the north there, and everybody else is out of that. It gets up to Ladysmith and tracks out by the 11 o'clock hour, and we're pretty much done with the alerts. Still holding on to those winds, though, coming up from the south and turning as you go right back up to the northwest. And as they do, we're eventually going to see temperatures still holding on to that heat, still holding on to the possibility of, again, warmth getting us into the 30s, so well above seasonal averages there for most folks. Then eventually that continues on where we drop down to the 30s once again to 25, though, for Ladysmith as we go in the 7 o'clock hour. Now, one of the models was showing that there could be possibility of that by getting areas by Wisconsin Dells, getting into areas by Richland Center, maybe even Viroqua. By the time we get into the evening hours, there could be a little bit more of that snowfall coming back, but we'll keep an eye on that and make sure that doesn't really occur again and bring a little bit more trouble for a lot of folks in Vernon County. We'll also hold on to the 6 a.m. for tomorrow morning. We have winds out of the northwest, so clearing skies to partly cloudy conditions. We're also going to find ourselves with temperatures in the 30s widespread, getting into your forecast for the 1 o'clock hour, still holding on to those 30s with 27 up there to the north. We'll take a look here what's happening out there as we go right back in, how this all shapes up. We'll take a wider view with more rainfall starting to work its way into California, where they're having the Pineapple Express that is moving in. That is pretty much coming out of Honolulu. We also see it up to the north as well, and that continues to work its way across. And I'm showing you this why, because there's already moisture already starting to work across into the Intermountain West, and as that does, well, we're going to be seeing more of that rainfall and snowfall possibly as we get back closer into areas right by Saturday, going all the way through the possibility of that continuing to pick up into Sunday, and then possibility of more of that that on the way as we finish out going into the new year. We'll also see as we go through the next few days, my friends, holding on to the possibility of this. We'll get into your Christmas holiday, holding on to at least 40-degree heat, drier conditions with cloudier skies. And then after that, Thursday, possibly going into Friday, we could see a little overnight rainfall or snowfall trying to get up along the northern tier, up along I-94. Eventually, we'll see that more so for Friday going into your Saturday morning with a 20% chance of showers on the way. Back to you.
In your Morning Buzz report, sad news from the entertainment world. Actor James Ransone has died. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner says Ransone died last Friday in an apparent suicide. The 46-year-old was best known for his roles in the hit HBO series The Wire and the movie It, Chapter 2. He made another TV and movie appearances over the years. On Sunday, HBO shared a tribute to Ransone on social media. And in happier news and in the spirit of Christmas, a reminder that the 1-hour holiday special Christina Aguilera, Christmas in Paris, airs tonight on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Christina Aguilera celebrates 25 years of her album, My Kind of Christmas. Miley Cyrus is set to be honored for her song from Avatar, Fire and Ash. The Palm Springs International Film Festival announced it'll give Cyrus its Outstanding Artistic Achievement Award for Dream as One. The awards are on January 3rd. Now, before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
All right, Hudson is 8. Yeah, he loves sports and art projects.
Well, happy birthday to Richard. Richard is 80. He loves his family and cookies.
Happy birthday, Richard. If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18 or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website. Now, don't go too far. Stay with us. We've got what you need to know in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is next.
Time is running out at Howe's Diamond Jewelers in downtown La Crosse. These are the final days of the sale, with up to 80% off diamonds, gemstones, and gold jewelry. You won't see savings like this again, so come in now before it's all gone.
Last minute gift shoppers? Yeah, we get a lot every season here at Menards. Santa? He's here every year. He loves our prices on tools. A great selection of toys. And you can even find something for yourself. Plus, you can't go wrong with a Menards gift card. So come on in and wrap up your last minute gift shopping at Menards.
More season's greetings to you all from Menards.
If you've been waiting for the best time to buy furniture, this is it. King Furniture is preparing for the biggest sale of the year and will be closed December 24th and 25th to celebrate with our families. But we'll reopen Friday, December 26th for an incredible year-end clearance. Shop store-wide savings as we clear out inventory and make room for new styles in 2026. Our showroom is stocked with the brands you love, available for free delivery. The year-end clearance starting this Friday at King Furniture.
Stop into Pischke Motors to get your new Ram now. Get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty on all new 2026 Ram trucks. This offer will end December 31st, so stop in now. And during the Wrap Up the Year sales event, get 0% financing for 60 months on all new 2026 Bighorn and Laramie Ram 1500s. Or save over $10,000 off MSRP on select inventory. Hurry in because this offer ends December 31st. Go to Pischke.com. Pischke Motors West Salem or Pischke Motors La Crosse.
After I decided my pain was too much, and my doctor actually suggested that I do visit the Good Feet store. Pretty amazing when they put the arch supports in your shoe and you walk around and you realize there's not pain and you think, how can this arch support in my shoe make my back pain go away? But it works. And how can it make my knee pain go away? It was incredible.
Hip, knee, or back pain? See if Arch Supports can help you at the Good Feet store.
Time is running out at Howe's Diamond Jewelers in downtown La Crosse. These are the final days of the sale with up to 80% off diamonds, gemstones, and gold jewelry. You won't see savings like this again, so come in now before it's all gone.
Okay, let's see. Headlines from News 8 Now? Check. Live updates all day? Check. local breaking news. Yep. Weather every 10 minutes? Yes, please. Well, that was an easy choice. News 8 Plus. It puts the now in your day. Get it today.
All right, what do you think?
I think this looks good, but I also think we can do a little better.
I think so too. You know, I think we can do even better.
I agree.
That's more like it.
Happy holidays from News 8 Now. Miss a story or need to watch it again? Find them all on the News 8 Now app. Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Well, we have a look at Santa's home in Norway. Located in the town of Drobak is a Christmas-themed shop and post office which receives thousands of letters each year from around the world, all of them addressed to Santa. The postmasters and elves spend a lot of time reading heartwarming messages and passing the messages on to Santa before Christmas Eve. Time now for your morning news now. The Trump administration remains under scrutiny over the Justice Department's handling of the release of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Among the thousands of documents initially released in conjunction with Friday's deadline, CBS News determined at least 15 files were no longer available on the DOJ's website Saturday, including a file with a photo of President Trump that was put back up on the website yesterday. More than 500 pages were fully redacted, prompting some lawmakers and Epstein victims to demand answers. A memorial was held last night for the victims of the shooting on Bondi Beach last weekend. The shooting killed 15 and injured dozens more. Over the weekend, Australia honored and recognized its Jewish community. There was a main memorial event near Bondi Beach with a moment of silence being held at 6:47 p.m., the time the attack began. And a man is in La Crosse custody after reports of gunshots downtown. 22-year-old suspect Dominic Jansen is now in La Crosse County Jail. The incident happened early yesterday on the 300 block of 3rd Street South. Police arrested Jansen in a nearby residence. They say no one is hurt, but one person reported their car window was hit as they left the area. It's labeled an isolated incident, but the investigation remains active.
All right, as we carry out the local weather here right now, you're looking at more rain and snow kind of moving up to the north there. You got some freezing rain, some drizzle associated with that as well, some mist, and it's up by Eau Claire tracking towards Rice Lake. You look though as you get into Mason City going towards Prairie du Chien and of course La Crosse between that and Rochester. You're looking at the next half hour or so, possibly a little rain and snow working its way towards La Crosse, getting into the possibility of more of that snow and the glaze also going towards Prairie du Chien. Wednesday's highs, which is Christmas Eve, you're looking at temperatures mostly in the 30s and the 40s. Thursday's highs looking at pretty much 39 to 46 degrees with the possibility of some nighttime rain. It's about a 40% chance carrying that over from Thursday going into Friday. And there's another batch coming in for Friday going into Saturday, which is a 20% chance going into the morning as well as the afternoon. Be safe and have a wonderful day.
All right, it'll feel warmer compared to those winter temperatures.
Bit,
All right,
right?
thank you, Art. Thank you for waking up with us. We'll see you right back here at noon.